So first off, I'm not counting Origins because I have not played it and it was written by a different company. I do have it, but I only played the Killer Croc boss battle. Then I got stuck on you had to go search for something. I don't remember what. And then I just kind of gave up. It is a game that I will return to eventually, but I have so many games I've never played on Xbox 360 and PS4, so I have no idea when I ever will play it. But yeah, right off the bat, I'm not having that in this ranking for obvious reasons because I'm ranking boss battles I've played. First off, we have Victor Zaz. He gets 3 boss fights technically. First one, you're supposed to sneak up on him so he doesn't kill a hostage he has. So you go behind him and do a silent takedown. Though you can also beat him up. You can beat him with 3 punches like a normal thug that's on low health. You can do a beat down on him. So it makes it somewhat interesting, but it still sucks, obviously. His second one is you throw a battering at his head. And that's it. You can't beat him any other way. So it makes it a little unique, but also still bad. Um, and then the third one is a challenge map where he's basically a, knife thug. But it's still very fun. And he actually is voiced by the same dude that voices Victor Zaz in the game. So when you're beating him up, he sounds like Victor Zaz and not a regular thug. I electrocuted him on one of the things, and that was one of my favorite moments because I was like, yep, that's Victor's ass. Bane gets a boss fight. It's basically just the same boss fights as the Titan boss fights. It would be better if not for that. Harley Quinn does not get one. She gets beaten up in 2 different cutscenes in this game, though the second time she's taken out for the rest of the game. And who else? Killer Croc had a really good boss fight, very fun, very unique. A lot of people like that boss fight too. Scarecrow kinda had a boss fight with the nightmare sections because he does try and kill you and you do have to beat him up a little bit each time. But it's not really a boss fight since you never actually really take him down. You're just trying to get out of the fact that he's gassing you with fear toxin. Um, of course, the notoriously bad boss fight will be coming soon. Poison Ivy. I thought her boss battle was unique and worked pretty well. It used her plants, it used her mind control powers. It was fun. A lot of people hate it because it's kind of generic, but the boss battles were shoved in because they did not have any boss battles, and they were recommended to have boss battles in the game. So I think most of the boss battles are pretty good for being shoved in there. So I liked her boss battle. I think it really worked for her powers. She never got a boss battle in the series again. So, it's definitely the best one we got. And then the final one, since Arkham Asylum didn't have that many boss fights compared to later games in the series, is Titan Joker. He gets, this big suit up. He takes the Titan serum. He's this big ass dude. He's got a cool mohawk now. For whatever reason, it changes his hair. He's got these big ass hands that look like claws. You know how you beat him up? You beat up thugs, and then eventually he taunts and turns his back to you. So you use a grappling hook to pull him down, and then you punch him like 3 times. And you do that over and over again until eventually Batman puts like explosive gel on his hands and he punches him in the face, causing it to explode in his face, which doesn't kill him or severely injure Batman's hand. It is a cool moment, but it is also weird. Now, Arkham City, this one notoriously had a lot of good boss fights, but they were not all good. Hush is in it. He does not get a boss fight. Um, Victor Zaz is in it. They basically just do what his first boss fight was, where you have to do a lot of sneaking around to get him. I don't think he is able to kill the hostages. I don't think he's able to spot you, though. Um, you just take him down when he's near glass or something, if I'm remembering correctly. And the fact that I can't even remember it shows that it's not really a good boss battle. Hush is also in it. He's not a boss battle. Bane is in it. He gets taken out in a cutscene. Um, Deadshot gets a boss battle. And, when I first played these games, I was terrible. I would die multiple times to Bane. Killer Croc I did beat first try. I died a lot of times to Ivy. And Joker I beat first try. But I was someone that died a lot when I played these games. Deadshot, I beat him first try. Later, obviously, when I played the games, I could beat a lot of the boss battles first try. But, if someone who wasn't very good at the series and just started beat your boss battle first try, it's not a very good one. He just kind of looks around for you, and then you take him down while you're in a vent. I've never really tried to do his boss battle again, but there probably are other ways to take him down. That's it for side missions that I am thinking of. Ezreal is also in the game, but he's not a boss battle. Racial Ghoul had a really good boss battle. I was a big fan of that one. It definitely works for Racial Ghoul. Mr. Freeze had one. Everybody loves that one. I liked it too. But a lot of people talked about how hard it was, and I really didn't have that much trouble with it. I don't think I even died to him. Just saying a lot because, I wasn't very good at the game. I did have to adapt, obviously, because it doesn't change the fact that he freezes basically everything and doesn't let you use something you may have been using for the entire boss battle. So it is a very unique boss battle, but I personally didn't have that much trouble with it. Who else had one? Scarecrow does not return to this game because he was supposedly killed off by Killer Croc. And he doesn't return in Asylum either, even though, that was by a different company. He doesn't return until he's the final villain of Arkham Knight. Penguin gets a boss battle, and I think it works. It probably isn't a boss battle people think of when they think of the Arkham series, but it works for him. You dodge him while he's shooting at you, and then you just beat the shit out of the little fucker. I wish there was more boss battles like that. Why can't we have those? It works. Harley kinda gets a boss battle, but not really. She comes at you like she's about to fight you, and then you just basically counter her and throw her on her stomach. Which in the Robin DLC that I played, it says she has a miscarriage. So, way to go, Batman. That's just a theory. I'm not saying it actually happened, but it's highly likely, especially since Joker dies in the main story. So it's not like in the DLC. I don't know what I'm even talking about right now. Back to the boss battles. Hugo Strange doesn't really get one, even though he was a big guy in the game. Joker kind of gets one. It's definitely way better than the previous one. Now, Arkham Knight, a lot of people criticize this game for boss battles. I definitely agree with a lot of them being pretty bad, but not all of them are as bad as people say. But I will obviously talk about the really bad ones first. Professor Pig, one of my favorite villains. His lead up to the battle is very unique, just like Victor Zaz's in City. But then when you eventually get to him, the boss battle is still pretty unique, where you are fighting these Dolatrons that do not feel pain, so you can't just beat the shit out of them like you normally would. You have to take them down, use your environment around you to take them down by shoving them into the electric boxes or shit to take them down. Until eventually, he jumps through the window while singing opera, and now he's in the boss battle. You'd think you'd be fighting him. No, he's standing behind a table and he starts throwing cleavers at you. And now the most ridiculous part is if you counter the cleavers, Batman throws it perfectly and hits Professor Pig in the head with the butt of the cleaver every time, and it stuns him for a little bit. I don't really know how that works. I know Batman's smart and all, but I really don't know how that works. It still was a somewhat interesting boss battle, but let's face it, it wasn't very good. And then you end up walking up to the table and pressing 2 buttons to take him down. Hush! He returns, and press the counter button to put him through a table. Wow, that was really good. Man-Bat, he did not really get a boss battle. You just flew around and pumped him with a cure, and then you eventually put him in a containment unit. Simon Stagg was a villain in the game. He does not get a boss battle, but he does get thrown in a cell. Firefly is very generic, but it kind of works. You chase him in the Batmobile until he kind of starts running low on fuel from all the flames he's shooting at you. And then you jump out of the car, grab him, start beating the shit out of him. And then eventually he flies away, though. Even though the whole reason we were able to catch up to him was he was running low on fuel. So I don't get how that works. And it takes Batman multiple times to realize that he's going to fly away every time. So he keeps doing the beatdown thing. Not very smart, Batman. Oh, I actually completely forgot about one boss battle from City, but I remembered it because he's also in this game. Two-Face. He has a boss battle in City. You basically it's basically the same one that's in Arkham Knight, but it's still fun. I like it. He gets a giant health bar, and you get to beat the shit out of him, and you also get to beat the shit out of thugs. But you could just leave him and then not touch his health bar and then beat the absolute shit out of him. Though, unfortunately, I think they at least spawn one enemy if you leave him with that much health. Because I remember thinking I took out all the enemies, and then somehow someone just kept coming while I was beating him up. I fought him a lot of times. I liked it. I really liked Solomon Grundy's boss battle too, and I liked Clayface's. I wasn't sure if I mentioned them. I might have missed them. Clayface's was really fucking cool and had 3 different stages. And Grundy also had 3 different stages. A lot of them had 3 different stages. Two-Face, once again, basically the same boss battle, but this game has more unique ways to take him out. So you could make him trip on the escalator by using your gadgets. You can put his head in a fucking electric box. You can do all kinds of shit. Save him for last, and then simply press counter or something, and now you get like a kind of cool cutscene to get him out or something. Or you could just do a beatdown. There's a lot of ways. I think maybe if you're someone that doesn't do it that stealthily, which I don't, but I've never tried this, that you could do the arm break thing, where if you have like an 8 combo, you can break someone's arm. If he's the last one, I bet you could do that, which would be very cool to just break Two-Face's arm. It still isn't a very good boss battle, but it worked for the character. I always gotta say, if it works for the character and it isn't a very good boss battle, but it's still somewhat fun, who cares? Deathstroke gets a boss battle. A lot of people were disappointed by it. I can't even defend it since it's the same boss battle that the Arkham Knight gets. So, boo you. That's it. Boo you. Um, who else? Arkham Knight got 3 different boss battles. He has a helicopter one, which is by far the most generic. You just beat up some tanks, and you also have to shoot at him, though. And you have to stop him from shooting missiles at you. That would make it more interesting, if not for the fact that some fucking tanks can shoot missiles at you, too. So he's basically just doing something that some tanks can do. Though I don't think any of those tanks are in that specific boss battle, because it's pretty early on in the game. I think the second boss battle is when you take out some tanks, and then you have to leave him for last. You shoot his tank, he chases after you, you have to get out of range, and then you do it all over again. I think it was a pretty fun battle. I think it works for the setting of Arkham Knight too. Yes, fighting Arkham Knight in a more hand-to-hand combat scenario would be cool, but I think it works with what we got. Yeah, actually, that's 4 because I forgot one more. The third one, I'm pretty sure it's the third one. He's in this big ass thing that ends up destroying your Batmobile, and you have to intentionally get his attention, and then have him chase you, and then you have to do like all kinds of shit to like jump over ramps and shit to get away from him, and then eventually some bombs will blow up and start chipping away at his health bar. I think that is a very interesting boss battle. I liked it. And then his fourth one is obviously the one which is mostly cutscened and emotionally based. So there isn't much to say there. That's why I forgot it. Where you're basically just beating up other thugs, sneaking around, trying not to get shot by him since he has a sniper. And then you grapple up towards him, and Batman like grabs him and shit, and then they start yelling at each other. So there isn't much of a boss battle to say there, but it's still a boss battle. Harley Quinn also kind of gets one, but you just take her down while you're in an event, and you do it as Robin, so it's definitely more disrespectful. As much as I love Robin, and Tim Drake is my favorite Robin, it's definitely disrespectful to have the secondary character beat him up instead of Batman. Penguin also kind of gets a boss battle, but it sucks compared to City. He holds a Nightwing hostage, and then you press a button to take him down. Whoa, that's so creative. I almost forgot the Jokers, because they do count. Because they are boss fights with health bars and everything besides one of them. You fight 3 different Jokers that were infected with the toxins from City, Albert King, a former boxer who was gonna fucking fight Wildcat, but because of the whole Joker thing, the fight's canceled. So you fight him. It's fine. It does bring a new thing into the series where Batman and Robin will beat him up, which is really cool. But that is the most notable thing to say about it. Christina Bell jumps at Robin and scratches at his face, and then Batman takes her down, or you take her down. I don't remember, so that's not saying much about it. It really wasn't a cutscene, though. It was like a quick thing. I can't remember the other ones, dude. Who's Johnny something? But you sneak around disarming bombs while trying not to get caught by him, and then Mark Hamill sinks. Mark Hamill's Joker was already shoved in your face a lot in Arkham Knight, and it was something that personally annoyed me. It's not to say Mark Hamill isn't a good Joker. I just did not like having him all the fucking time. It got really annoying. You're dead. Why are you here? Anyways, even though they promote Johnny as the big singer, of course Batman hallucinates, so it's Mark Hamill, Joker, singing instead of Johnny. I really wish it would have been Johnny. I would have liked to see what his singing voice was like. I do, unfortunately, have to leave a few boss fights, like, DLC, because I've never played the Arkham Knight DLC. And I've never done all the Riddler trophies, so I can't say how Riddler's boss fight was. Speaking of DLC, since I did forget in the Robin DLC, you do fight Harley Quinn, which I think was pretty cool, but it is basically the same as Two-Face in Arkham City. So it isn't that unique, especially since it's fucking DLC. So that definitely takes it down some points, but it was still fun nonetheless. But yeah, I think that's it. Deacon Blackfire gets taken down in a cutscene after you beat up a bunch of his thugs. There is a time limit, but his boss fight's nothing to write home about, especially since I'm pretty sure he gets taken out in a cutscene. And yeah, that's it. That is all of the Arkham boss fights besides Origins ranked.